Round 12, 1994, the Saints travel down the highway to take on the Cats. Geelong coming off a 25-point loss at home to the bad news Brisbane Bears last week. St Kilda coming off the bye, but they have been struggling in the first half of the season, and they've got three of their stars out in Lockett, Loewe and Harvey. Everett with a little handball to Shane Wakeland, and there's a patched up and makeshift St Kilda forward line today. It is really going to be a tough ask. Now there's a St Kilda free kick early, and it will go to young Shane Wakeland wearing the number 33. He kicks towards the forward pocket, and Craig O'Brien on a long lead. Or is that Sam Jones maybe?
Sammy Jones.
Yeah, Sammy Jones. So playing just game number 2, the 20-year-old from Sandy Bay in Tasmania. Recruited to the Saints as a defender, but with no Lockett, no Loewe this afternoon, Sam Jones to the Barwon River end. He's going to have the first shot at goal of the day from 40 metres. His kick starts left. Is it working back? It's not. It's a behind. And that is the first score of the day. Bruce Eva with you. As I say, a very good afternoon to Mark Fine.
Thanks, Beaver. Beautiful day down at Cardinia Park. Tim Darcy, normally a beautiful kick to take the resultant kick from the behind, and he finds his man out there, Johnny Barnes. So, the Cats, disappointing last week, will be looking to get back on the winners list today against a depleted St Kilda. Taken away by the Saints out of the back line, kick the ball forward, an opportunity for Wakeland. Does well, goes one way then the other, gets onto his left boot. Wakeland, almost a stab pass at goal, and it goes right through the middle. Great start to the Saints.
What a goal by young Shane Wakeland. That was sensational. One of 6 players St Kilda's got today that have played 12 senior games or less. Just his 8th senior game, the Athletic South Australian. And that was twinkle toes like stuff with a blind turn and a sidestep, and finishes on his non-preferred left. St Kilda 1-1-7. Geelong yet to score, and as we said, no Tony Lockett, no Stewart Loewe. It's going to be Sam Jones and David Strooper and Shane Wakeland, the key forward targets for the Saints, and they strike early.
Unlikely forward setup. The ball bounced in the centre of the ground, comes out to Shane Brewer. The sweet moving Cat gets the ball further afield to Pickering. Pickering kicks the ball long into the Geelong forward line. Shanahan has the job today on Gary Ablett and kills that ball out of bounds deep in the forward line for the Cats.
Jamie Shanahan's 50th game today, Finey. Of course, he started his career at St Kilda in 1992.
The ball to be thrown in. Peter Everett to do the ruck work against Barry Stoneham. And young Spider taking third up was Gary Ablett. Grabs the ball out. Everett handballs the ball indiscriminately. I'll tell you what, lucky to get away with that one, and it's going to be another throw in, or the umpire's having a word to young Spider, and it could be a free kick to the Cats. And that's exactly what it is. You see Nathan Burke on the mark there, sporting the helmet, thanks to thuggery by Gary Ablett in a final 3 years ago. Barry Stoneham to take the resulting shot at goal, Beaver.
Umpires today, John Harvey, Grant Vernon and Murray Bird. So we haven't been blessed with 3 of the better whistleblowers. As Stoneham shoots and Stoneham goals. So Geelong with the quick answer. That free kick against Peter Everett for deliberate out of bounds. And the Cats, 1 straight 6, St Kilda 1-1-7. We expect a high scoring match this afternoon. And St Kilda, of course, coming off the bye the week before that, belted by Melbourne out at VFL Park by 72 points on their home deck. St Kilda currently on a 4-game losing streak at Cardinia Park. Finally, you've got to go back to 1988 to their last victory here.
The ball back in the centre of the ground, taken away by Nathan Burke, puts the Saints forward at the 50-metre mark. Ken Hinkley at the drop of the ball. Hocking there as well. O'Brien lays a tackle onto Mansfield, and it's going to be a ball up or a free kick to St Kilda.
Well, he was given plenty of opportunity. He had a couple of opportunities to get rid of it. I think that's a correct decision.
50 metres out from goal. Craig O'Brien, former Bomber. Now very much a Saint. Comes in. Nice kick off the boot. What does the umpire say? Right through the middle. Good start to the Saints. A couple of early goals. St Kilda 2-1-13. And the Cats 1 goal straight.
Well, a lot of responsibility are going to fall on the shoulders of Craig O'Brien this afternoon, Finey, with such an inexperienced forward setup for the Saints in terms of the aerial threats. O'Brien, as we know, strong mark, but he's only around the 5'9", 5'10" mark, but he can create goals from not many opportunities. He's going to have to be on target today. So, St Kilda by 7 points. Good start for the visitors. Barnes wins the tap. Geelong try and force it forward. Couch, the Brownlow medalist, to Pickering, to Bairstow. Mark Bairstow on the run. He kicks it towards full forward. Ablett in a big wrestle with Shanahan. And the free kick has been given against Gary Ablett. And Jamie Shanahan in game number 50 takes the free kick and pokes it across goal to Anderson in the left back pocket.
Dean Anderson, deep in defence for the Saints, former Hawk. Takes the ball to the outer side of the ground. In front there for St Kilda, and a very good mark actually. The umpire has paid it. I'm not quite sure who that was. Into the centre of the ground, Lazar Vidovic affords the spoil, but at the drop of the ball, Gary Hocking, part of this very strong Geelong midfield. Ablett up in the air. Damon Shaw tackled without the ball. Surely a free kick to Damon Shaw. Finally falls to Keogh. Keogh gets a handball and St Kilda out of defence through Dean Anderson. Anderson kicks the ball to the centre of the ground. Was that a push? Umpire says yes, and Shane Wakelin is penalised, and the ball comes back to Kenny Hinkley, the boy from Camperdown.
So, Hinkley off a step, back to right half forward. Stoneham flies in a Saint sandwich, middle player of 3 as Keogh sees the ball over the boundary line. Outer side with Saints making a bright start. 2-1-13, Geelong 1 straight 6. Ball spinning back into play. Vidovic against Stoneham. It was a deep throw in. Keogh emerges with it, hooks it across his body on his preferred left foot. Grabbed there by Mansfield, charges forward, kicks on his non-preferred right. Big leap by Ablett. Didn't actually get near it. The Saints under pressure. Will be able to mop up though. The wild handball out to Winmar, who eventually controls it. Right back pocket in front of the forward stand, if you could call it a stand, that strange looking structure. And Everett takes the mark just outside D50.
Good strong mark, swings around onto his left boot and kicks the ball to the centre of the ground, but easily intercepted by John Barnes, who pushes away his opponent. Gets it to Hinkley. Hinkley handballs further afield. Doesn't quite hit the mark, but Pickering's good enough to pick up the loose ball. Further afield to Steele. Back to Hinkley. And Geelong now able to launch an attack. Hocking, 50 metres out. Short pass. Easy as you like. Gets it into... Was that Steele?
Wills.
Wills, sorry. I should have noticed the lack of hair. The follically challenged Wills missed what he should have got, and Andrew Wills puts through the first behind of the afternoon for the Cats. 1-1-7, trailing the Saints by a goal. St Kilda put the ball back into play.
From David Grant, and Frawley on the bounce, handballs to Burke, tries to get it back to Frawley. Wills, Spud Frawley's caught Wills high. Umpire said he put a bit of mayonnaise on that. Play on's the call. Shanahan short to Winmar. Honours the lead there of Strooper. And David Strooper takes the mark and handballs to Damon Shaw, who kicks on his non-preferred right, but it's a good kick, and Winmar takes the diving mark before Buddha Hocking arrives, or he does arrive, and maybe just got in a little cheap shot. Chip pass back to Nathan Burke. He kicks from about 55. It's a long ball. Getting back with Sam Jones off hands. And that is out of bounds. Right forward pocket. The Saints attacking to the River Barwon end. They lead it 2-1 to 1-1.
The gangly Saint Ruckman, young Peter Everett to go up against John Barnes. Everett in the front spot. Let's see where the ball lands. Down, beautifully tapped to Craig O'Brien. That is ruck work. Straight out of the top shelf. To his man, Craig O'Brien, who puts through another goal for the Saints. So that's 2 for Craig O'Brien, and the Saints, 3-1-19, have got off to a good start against the more favoured Geelong at home, 1-1-7. Great work in the ruck there by Peter Everett.
Yeah, that's a terrific goal. Craig O'Brien now with 2. And the Cats, with their confidence shaken after being upset by the Bears last week, have made a wobbly start here. So the ball in dispute centre wing, and then emerging it with it is Dunnybrush Scott, and he kicks on the left foot looking for Ablett. Shanahan with the big fist, but straight back to Robert Scott. Handballs then to Forsman. Now the whistle is going, they're taking advantage. Everyone stopped, and in the end Paul Couch had just drifted forward from the centre, and the Brownlow medalist of 5 years ago was marked directly in front, about 35 out. The classy left footer Paul Couch. What a player he is. Short approach, and the drop punt is straight through the middle. Classy finish from a classy footballer. And the Cats get their second, and they're back within a goal. Big crowd in here at Cardinia Park this afternoon. A lot of travelling Saints fans. Geelong moved to 2-1-13. St Kilda 3-1-19. And Paul Couch with his first goal of the afternoon in bright and sunny conditions at the Cattery.
Part of that powerful Geelong midfield: Bairstow, Couch, Pickering, Hocking. Plenty of big names in there. Barnes knocks the ball down. Nathan Burke roves beautifully. Gets it out to Keogh. The strong man's able to get a handball away. Tracking the ball back there for St Kilda would have been Strooper. Couch came over the top of him. Damon Shaw. The ball spills to Couch. Once again, beautiful handball by that player. Further afield to Brewer. Brewer gets the ball further on. I think that's Forsman. Forsman storms into goal for the Cats, and that's another goal for Geelong. A little bit too easy on that occasion.
Yeah. Darren Forsman there, just a very easy conversion. So they kick two in the space of 60 seconds, and scores are level. Geelong hit back and hit back hard. 3-1-19, each of two. Geelong coming into this game 8th on the ladder, 5-5. St Kilda 13th, 3-6. Been a disappointing season for the Saints. And Geelong at 50-50 after missing the finals last year. Force it forward again. I think that might have been Brewer once more. Frawley almost hatching it. Stoneham could have been pinged for a trip there. Keogh with the right foot kick out very wide. McGrath at the back. He's got the football, and a lovely looping handball inboard to Hinkley. Kenny gives it to Scott. Scott with the pass, which was barely the required distance. But the mark is paid, and Liam Pickering has the football in midfield.
Liam Pickering, generally a good kick of the ball, kicks the ball forward. I think his target would have been Gary Ablett, but Forsman again filling the hole, and another chance for Forsman to put a major on the board. So I've got to say, both sides struggling defensively at the moment. It's been a high-scoring opening, and they seem to be scoring it well. This kick by Forsman is way offline, skews off the boot and out of bounds on the full. The resultant free kick will go to Frankie Peckett, St Kilda back pocket.
Gary Hocking scratches where the mark is, as you can see from that higher shot. Big crowd in this afternoon. Long ball, Stoneham flies high. Frawley with the punch. Damon Shaw under pressure, kick almost taken off the boot. Players crash in from all points of the compass. And the rugged Rod Keogh emerges with it. Hacks it to centre wing, and Shane Wakeland playing in front. He's made a bright start. Takes the mark. Kicks out wide, looking for O'Brien. Steve Hocking right on his hammer and wins the day as well. And then just handballs it straight out of bounds. Should be pinged.
Wow.
Well, that's hometown umpiring if ever you've seen it. And instead we'll have a boundary throw in 65 around from the St Kilda goal.
We don't care what era that occurred in, that was an intentional out of bounds. So, Everett knocks the ball down. Damon Shaw's made a good start to the game. Kicks the ball deep into the St Kilda forward line. Going to his knees was Sam Jones, and in fact he was infringed upon, and the youngster, the boy from Sandy Bay in Tassie, as Beaver explained earlier, has a chance to put a major on the board for the Saints. So Sam Jones, he's had one shot at goal, that was offline, and here's an opportunity to kick his first major for the Saints.
Well built young fella, Finey.
Yeah, athletic type, rangy. Let's see if he can put a major through. Directly in front, And no problems at all for Sam Jones. That's a goal for the Saints. And they're good value at the moment, St Kilda, 4-1-25. Geelong, 3-1-19. And as I said, both defences at the moment are leaking like sieves.
The Saints really given no chance today by the experts. Tony Lockett still serving that long suspension for getting better acquainted with Peter Caven's facial features. And Stewart Loewe and Robert Harvey on the sidelines as well today. Vidovic almost wins the attack. Bairstow slaps it forward. And it might have been Tanner in there. Bairstow gets on the end of it. He does this so often. And the long kick, has it been touched? I don't think David Grant or Jamie Shanahan got a finger to it. And we've got a real shootout here at the Cattery. 4-1-25 each of two. And finally, as you alluded to a few moments ago, defensive structures basically non-existent so far. 8 goals in total kicked. We're going at almost a goal a minute.
Wow. But as you said, when you have a look at the strength through the Geelong midfield and some of the champs they've got up forward, pretty good effort by the Saints to be level pegging with them at the moment. The ball back in the centre of the ground, knockout there favours Geelong, and again it's the strong midfield through Couch, Hocking, hands off, Wills from 55 metres out. That's a long kick, that's a driving shot at goal, and Andrew Wills has put through the 5th goal for the Cats, and they hit the front for the first time this afternoon. Geelong 5-1-31, St Kilda 4-1-25. And we are privy to some high-scoring football here.
Yep, we sure are. We know the Cats are very free-scoring. The Saints, when they're at full strength, can be very free-scoring as well. So much potency sideline today for them. They're giving as good as they get at the moment, but Geelong have taken the lead. Vidovic with the long run-in. Pickering with the clearance, and it's a nice clean one. Geelong by 6 points. Ablett flies high. Can be a great battle with Shanahan all day. Shanahan with the crumb. Wobbly kick out wide. Alistair Carr, there's the debutants. St Kilda with 2 debutants today in Matthew Lappin and also Alistair Carr. Big body is Alistair Carr. So 2 debutants today getting their first taste of league footy in a hostile environment. Throw in right half forward for Geelong, who lead it by 6 points.
Ways of the Amazer. Vidovic goes up against Stoneham, can only knock it down. Geelong clear through Bairstow. Puts them deep into attack again. It's 2-on-1, and this time the free kick to St Kilda, and Danny Frawley will be the recipient. So St Kilda have gone with Shanahan on Ablett rather than Frawley, and Frawley to take the kick from deep in the defensive line for St Kilda. Big climb at the back of the pack by Barnes, almost holds it. Falls to Vidovic, handballs to Anthony Harvey. Anthony Harvey's kick out of bounds, and I'm not sure whether it was out of bounds on the full or not. Ball's coming back. What's the decision here? Yeah, must have been out of bounds on the full. So the Cats through Bairstow. Looks for the short pass and finds his man in Shane Brewer. Fairly open game at the moment, Beaver. Not a whole lot of defensive work being done by either side. Deep into the forward line. That's better by Frawley over the back of Stoneham. That's his man today. Damon Shaw at the drop of the ball. Christian Bardsley, was he held? Umpire says no. Winmar's in there. Cats everywhere though. Couch emerges with the ball. He spites somebody further afield. Good defensive play though by Shanahan. That would have been Peckett on Forsman. Forsman's able to get the ball. That's dropping the ball, umpire. Forsman dropped it red hot. Peter Everett gets the ball and the Saints are away.
They've got numbers through the middle. Dean Anderson, the multiple premiership hawk, kicks from alongside the centre circle. Kicks in the Sam Jones direction. Mopping up there is Hinkley. He had Steve Hocking for support. Hinkley, the classy halfback, kicks into the midfield and they're charging forward. That looks like Tim Darcy, who's got on the end of it, and he kicks out in favour of Bairstow. If it sits nicely for him, he's got an open goal to look at. He shoots, but he misses wide to the right, and a minor score. Geelong 5-2-32. St Kilda 4-1-25. You called Anthony Harvey a few moments ago. Moves like his brother Robert, playing just his 4th senior game today. Anthony Harvey, of course, Rob Harvey out injured as Grant kicks in to the broadcast side.
Beautiful mark there by Danny Frawley, who's slung a noose by Barry Stoneham up to taking the mark. No 50-metre penalty. A long kick further forward of field. Darcy at the drop of the ball. Hocking, quick hands by the Cats. That's what they're famous for. Pickering, does he spot a man? No, kicks it over the top. Winmar's there to intercept. David Grant tracks back and a free kick to Winmar. David Mensch getting into his back. So Nicky Winmar, about 60 metres away from the goal he's defending on the members' side of the ground. Neil Elvis Winmar, not quite sure what to do, finally makes his mind up, sees somebody further afield, and that kick is a speculative one. Shane Brewer tracks back ahead of Alistair Carr, the debutant. Shane Brewer's able to pick somebody out, but good defensive play by Grant. Got in the back of Mensch though, said the umpire, and David Mensch will take the free kick on centre wing. Mensch goes one way and then the other, definitely played on, so Grant encroaches over the mark legally. This time a good mark by Stoneham in front of Frawley. That should be a great clash today. Both players, star footballers, one forward, one defensive, and a lovely kick by Stoneham. Lace out to Gary Ablett, and for the first time we see the champ 45 metres out from goal. The distance won't be a problem. Pretends that he's got somebody to kick it to, but we know ultimately Gary Ablett's going to have a shot.
Nothing Jamie Shanahan could do about that finding.
Gary Ablett swings around on the right boot. Long way out. Doesn't bother him. Right through the middle. Fantastic kick allowing for the breeze. Swung it around. Once he got out on that right foot, it was always goal bound. And Shanahan has had a great start to the game. As you said, Beavan, there's nothing he could have done about that defensively. And the problem with Gary Ablett is he can mark the ball 50 metres out and still be well within kicking distance.
He makes it look so easy, doesn't he? Effortless kick from long range, and in the blink of an eye, the Cats out to a 13-point lead after St Kilda had kicked 3 of the first 4 goals. They'll get another clearance here as Hocking with a handball to Pickering, but he was ripped off the kick. Anthony Harvey loops a handball to Burke under pressure from Brewer, kicks on his left boot. A big mark there. That looks like Riley. In fact, Steve Riley for the Cats. Handballs to Hinkley. Hocking in an acre of space. How can you leave such a damaging midfielder as Gary Hocking in so much space? Beautiful delivery onto the chest of Wills with a left foot spearing pass that travelled about 30 metres. Wills comes inboard and then kicks to the hot spot. Leapers needed, and there was leapers everywhere. Keogh tries to storm through at ground level. Couch tries to keep it alive for Geelong. Forsman lays a tackle on Peckett. Umpire lets it go. Finally, he's seen enough, and he'll throw it up on the plate of 50 for Geelong, with the Saints all of a sudden on the back foot.
He's an absolute ripper, Rod Keogh. He loves it when the ball's in contest, and big-bodied, important midfielder for the Saints. Vidovic tries to get the knockout, only goes as far as Couch, who overruns it. Anderson dives on the ball. He's immediately tackled by Bluey McGrath, who gets a free kick for holding the ball. That was red hot, umpire. Quickly played on the Cats. Mensch, centre half forward, swings onto his right boot. The kick's not going to cover the distance. Is that a free kick to Shanahan? Surely he was being held by Ablett. The umpire agrees, and Shanahan released for St Kilda. Kicks it short into the back pocket and finds the previously mentioned Rod Keogh.
Keogh to a contest, gets to the back of that. In fact, the ball just stops on the turf. It's pretty soft and a lot of give in the ground there. As Barnes skids a kick back to Couch, back to that area which is chopped up. Anderson does well to get ball to boot very quickly over his shoulder. Didn't really look as the Saints chip it around, and then inboard to Nathan Burke. Defensive side of centre wing. Burke to centre half forward. Players converge from all points of the compass. Mansfield there with the crumb and kicks out very wide. Darcy doesn't break stride as he takes the mark. He's taken an early bounce. Strooper gives chase. Darcy kicks to centre half forward. Frawley and Stoneham. Frawley with the spoil. Vidovic works his way to the front, and the Saints can rebound through their captain.
Spud Frawley kicks the ball beyond the centre of the ground here at Cardinia Park. At the fall of the ball, desperate play by St Kilda, but was that a free kick to Geelong? It was, and Mansfield will be the recipient. So the Cats to the good by 13 points, and I mean St Kilda's endeavour's been there, but the problem is that they can't seem to hold back the tide that is the Geelong midfield. Goes to true centre-half forward at the drop of the ball, beautifully picked up by Wills. This is the midfield I'm talking about. On to Bairstow, into the open goal, and there's another one for the Cats. They extend their lead to 19 points, and that was pretty classy football. Beautifully roved off the pack by Wills. Quick hands to Bairstow, and it was a training drill from the boy from Lake Grace from thereafter.
They've kicked 6 of the last 7, the home side, and they stretch that advantage out to 19 points now, 7-2 to 4-1. As mentioned, if you've joined us late, St Kilda with a very bright start, but Geelong asserting themselves now, and Bairstow has been running amok forward of centre. Back underway, Barnes and Vidovic both jumped early. Barnes, the ball comes back to him. Little chip pass to Pickering. Unloads with a long kick. Ablett with a push. At the back, got away with it. Left foot snap. I reckon was it touched? Doesn't really matter because it ran the wrong side of the post. And a minor score. 20 points now. Geelong in front by 7-3 to 4-1. And St Kilda defence all of a sudden under siege with David Grant to bring the ball back into play. The catering here at Cardinia Park has been a highlight of the afternoon so far as, Barnes, a big leap with the spoil on Vidovic. Now, they actually paid advantage. It was going to be a St Kilda free kick. The centre-half forward, Wakeland couldn't mark it. Strooper searches for it in the grass. Handball to Bardsley. He might become famous at Cardinia Park in a couple of years. To Damon Shaw. Long ball towards full forward. Gets to the back. Everett there. Hocking worries him out of it. And the big-bodied Riley will charge away, have a bounce, and kick on his left boot as he's bumped.
He will become famous in years to come, Riley, as well, but not at Geelong. Maybe down at Carlton. Handball. Strooper. Burke. St Kilda press forward. Craig O'Brien's able to come second man back. Beautiful snap around the shoulder. Just offline, and Bluey McGrath's able to see that through for a behind. Well, St Kilda have looked lively when going forward. No question about it. I'll tell you what, I'm amazed that this team last week lost to the Brisbane Bears, Geelong, when you see who they put on the field. But it's not always about the names, it's more often about the effort. Kenny Hinkley, the man from Camperdown, puts the ball to centre wing. Contest there, Stoneham. Frawley does well at the back of the pack to Nathan Burke, who's had a very good start to the game, as has Rod Keogh. Backtracks a little bit. Finally puts it in the hands of Damon Shaw, another good contributor for the Saints. Wakeland's there. Vidovic does the roving, an unusual role for him. This is going to be tough for Craig O'Brien. 2 out against the likes of Barnes and Hocking. Nigh on impossible. And Barnes clears to the follically challenged Andrew Wills.
Wills ducks back inboard after taking a couple of bounces, neatly delivers to Pickering, who marks right on the edge of the cricket pitches in the middle of Cardinia Park. A kick to centre forward, Stoneham and Frawley, yet another battle. No mark taken. Scott fires a handball out the front of the contest. Tanner slips over, and St Kilda have got the numbers to rebound. Anderson streaming through the centre. A long ball to centre-half forward. Mansfield gets back with courage. No mark taken. Bardsley shrugs off one tackle. Dispossessed, though, from the second. Umpire called play on. Bairstow sweeps a handball back. And the kick might have been Hinkley, I think. Down towards centre wing, and Barnes takes the comfortable mark in front of Dean Anderson.
John Barnes, dead set centre wing for Geelong. They lead by 19 points over the depleted Saints here at Cardinia Park today. Good defensive knock, but well rowed. Andrew Wills has been doing extremely well at the base of the pack so far this afternoon. Good wrestle between Shanahan and Ablett. He loses nothing for strength, Shanahan. Ablett on hands and knees, gets it to Mensch. Winmar tracks the ball back through for a behind, ahead of Grant Tanner. And that's a 20-point lead to the Cats. St Kilda 4-2-26, trailing the Cats 7-4-46.
Very close to quarter time as Grant goes short to Damon Shaw. Took the mark and kept running. Lovely left foot kick usually. Clean bowls a few though. It's going to wobble its way towards centre half forward. As in fact, there is the siren. As Wakeland and Alistair Carr threw their weight around. Mainly aimed at Toby Bairstow, who's had a magnificent first term. And Geelong by 20 points at the opening break over a plucky St Kilda, 7-4-46 to 4-2-26. Second quarter about to get underway. And it's a terrible bounce as well. Favours Laser Vidovic, who just does the little backhander, trying to get it to Anthony Harvey. Vidovic then goes off the ground, kicking it away from his own man in Anderson. Anderson goes back and gets it. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. Bardsley ball to boot quickly. It out wide, unkind bounce for O'Brien. Sits up on its end. All a bit scrappy this. Strooper tried to feed out a handball to Winmar. Stacks on the mill. Umpire's seen enough. We'll have a throw up. No, we won't. We'll have a bounce. At centre half forward for St Kilda.
True centre half forward here for St Kilda. Peter Everett will contest this ruck duel for the Saints, and he'll go up against his opposite number in John Barnes. At the drop of the ball, Bairstow and Anderson scrapping and fighting for it. Give it me. Both players want it. Both players won't get it, and it's going to be a throw up. No, you're right. A bounce.
Future habits die hard.
Yeah, there you go. The bounce favours Peter Everett, who knocks the ball down. Is that a free kick to Tanner for holding the man? Umpire says yes. Geelong sweep the ball forward, and a mark there by Couch. Fantastic footballer, Paul Couch. Kicks the ball just short. Oh, Gary Ablett goes through Danny Frawley. I think that's the first time I've ever seen Gary Ablett apologise, but he collected him good and proper. Danny Frawley, resolute in defence, takes the free kick to Nathan Burke. He knows what it's like to run into Gary Ablett. Kicks the ball to centre wing, Rod Keogh over the back. Good strength. Handball to Damon Shaw on the overlap. Damon Shaw puts his left boot into the ball. Nice kick. Craig O'Brien tries his hardest, but undersized, can't take the mark, and it spears out to Bluey McGrath.
He received the handball from Mansfield. Long kick on his left boot. Unkind bounce for Wills. Charging through was Peckett. Look away handball to Winmar. Winmar with a left-hand handball back to Peckett. Gathers it on the bounce and kicks a very long drop punt all the way down the line. That's a terrific mark there by Shane Wakeland. What a grab. The young utility. Handballs to Anthony Harvey or Keogh. The quick kick forward. Was that Bardsley?
It was.
And he misses to the left. Just scrapes in for a minor score. It's the first score of the second term. Now St Kilda behind. The Saints 4-3-27. The Cats 7-4-46 with Riley to bring the ball back into play.
Riley kicks the ball short to Bluey McGrath, who takes it at his bootstraps and swings around on the wing and finds his man Michael Mansfield. Mansfield just shy of centre for the Cats. Kicks the ball long. Winmar, beautiful leap over the back of Grant Tanner. And that was a great mark by Nicky Winmar, the Saints champ, signalling that he wants to kick the ball long, and that's exactly what he does. Kicks the ball up 60 metres out. Wakeland makes a good contest, as does Strooper. At the fall of the ball, stacks on the mill, and the last man up with the ball will be Christian Bardsley. Hands it back to the umpire, and the Saints certainly defensively more resolute at the start of this second quarter. Up Vidovic, taps the ball down. Dean Anderson not able to get his hands on the ball. Finally, hand passed away. Couch dodges one play, gets past. Good evasive football. Dead centre wing. And that's a very smart mark by Paul Couch, so he couldn't have kicked it. Must have been best.
Great mark indeed, wasn't it? Out wide to the running Darcy, who again took the mark and didn't break stride. Kicks in the Ablett direction, flew high, couldn't complete the mark. Wills, the will-o'-wisp. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm not sure he meant that. If he did, it was great vision. And Winmar certainly made Gary Hocking earn that mark. Oh, and he's going to walk him back to the goal line as well. So it'll be a certain goal, the first major of the second term. Buddha Hocking, who knows what it's like to throw his weight around on the receiving end on that occasion. And it'll be a certain goal. So, Gary Hocking trots in, pops it through, and the Cats have their 8th. So they've kicked 7 of the last 8 goals after trailing 3-1. Geelong 8-4-52. St Kilda 4-3-27. The visitors all of a sudden have problems. And of course, finally today, it's Premiership teammates coaching against each other. First year coach Stan Alves and Malcolm Blight still in the box for the Cats. Premiership teammates for North Melbourne back in 1977.
The ball's knocked down towards the Cats. Shane Brewer swings around and finds his man. Beautiful pinpoint pass to McGrath, and You fear that the floodgates might open pretty soon here for the Cats. Another short pass, and they've got loose men everywhere. Brewer on the overlap. Kicks it just short. Oh, what's the umpire adjudicating here? Well, hang on a second. Stoner picked it up on the bounce, fended off Keogh. And
High fend off.
And ends up with the free kick. The ball's taken by Everett deep in defence. Splays it out to Shanahan. He kicks the ball further afield and finds his man in Lazar Vidovic. So the big men combining there for the Saints. Vidovic tries to move the ball on quickly and does so to Nicky Winmar. Good foot skills by the big man. Winmar looking for a player further afield, Strooper, but Darcy's able to knock that one on the head fairly quickly, and Geelong once again have the ball. He's claiming the mark. You didn't take it, McGrath, but the umpire will pay it anyhow. Grant Tanner kicking the ball deep into the Geelong forward line at the back of the pack. Everett, it's a bit of a foot race and one that he's unlikely to win, but he does tap it through for a defensive behind.
So Geelong all over St Kilda in these early exchanges in the second term. 26 points is the lead as David Grant kicks it to Justin Peckett, who marks between the back pocket and left half back. Back into the centre corridor. And Anthony Harvey, who's done some nice things early, takes the mark. He spreads it wide by foot. Damon Shaw had to wait for it to reach him, so he couldn't play on. It was a bit of a floaty kick. Classy left footer is Damon Shaw. Down the line, Wakeland sets himself. Got a big piece of it. Couldn't complete the mark. Pickering and Harvey track it to the boundary line, and it trickles over. So we'll check the Tooheys Red scoreboard. Geelong 8-5-53. St Kilda 4-3-27 early in the second term.
Ball tapped to the back of the pack by Barnes, picked up by Bairstow, the skillful centreman for the Cats. McGrath, he's been everywhere in this second quarter. Sends the ball long into the Geelong forward line, and this time Ablett's able to slip his minder in Shanahan. Good, strong mark. 15 metres out, 20 metres out when he kicks it, and should be no problems extending the Cats' lead beyond 5 goals. Problems here for the Saints, Beef, because the run that Geelong are now getting off the half-back line from the likes of McGrath are just servicing the forward line too easily. Ablett goes back, and has he kicked it? Umpire says, yeah, he sure has. So here we go, 32 points to the good. Geelong starting to stretch away from the Saints down here at Cardinia Park.
Yeah, 9-5 to 4-3. St Kilda anchored seemingly on 4 goals. They did lead 3 goals to 1. It was 7 goals to 4 at quarter time in favour of the Cats. They kicked the only 2 goals of this second term, and the rubber band already being stretched to breaking point. How can these undermanned St Kilda side on the road turn this around? Lost their last 4 here at the Cattery. 6 years since they won that epic, with the Winmar winning goal close to the final siren. Another Geelong clearance. Pickering to Hocking. Scott now has it and kicks on the left boot. He'll kick it towards the left forward pocket. Mensch set himself. Frawley and Shanahan almost made a meal of it. Shanahan's kick was smothered but fortuitously fell to Grant, who kicks to centre wing. Honours the leader, Nathan Burke. Burke looks inboard. Not a lot doing there. He's going to kick it down the line. If it sits for Dean Anderson, he's a chance to create something here. No cap within about 15 metres of him. So Anderson towards O'Brien, who's having to do some, or to Sam Jones, should I say. Can't take the mark. They lay a good tackle, though. Not rewarded. Bardsley with ball to boot quickly, but Riley sits underneath it and takes the easy intercept grab.
Riley gets the ball further afield to Kenny Hinkley, who launches a big kick up beyond the centre of the ground. Good contest between Stoneham and Frawley. Stoneham goes off the ground. Couch is there, picks it up, goes with one of his deadly handballs, but this time it's intercepted by Peckett. Was he tripped up? Umpire says yes. And a free kick to Justin Peckett, 20 metres out from his own, the goal that he's defending, and the youngster tracked back well and was certainly impeded. So St Kilda, again, just hanging in there. Not too many options further afield. So Peckett puts the long boot into it onto centre wing. Barnes high over the back of the pack. Almost marked it. Would have been a great grab. Burke keeps the ball in. Vidovic leaves it where it was. And Barnes goes off the ground. Puts the slipper into it. Couch. Good handball. Hocking. Scott. Geelong. Moving it quickly. That's Couch again. Are there 2 Couches out there?
I think it might have been Bairstow.
Yeah, I'm confusing Bairstow and Couch, but let me tell you, there's so much of them. it's easy to get the two champs mixed up, and they're both great by hand and generally deadly by foot, but that one hit the post.
33 points to the Geelong lead. Oh, big collision there between Ablett and Winmar. Ablett again holds his hands up in apology. Winmar still down on the turf. Caught one in the left ear. That's a big collision. And the St Kilda superstar is shaken up. He's going to take his kick. As Finey and I contemplate having an 8th chocolate brownie each. The catering here at Cardinia Park, superb this afternoon. And if you're of the St Kilda persuasion, it's probably been the highlight to date. St Kilda staring down the barrel, 33 points adrift. What can they do to turn it around? Long kick to centre wing. What's Shanahan doing up there? Gets a little toe poke forward. It's going to dribble and roll. Darcy not clean below his knees yet. Anthony Harvey worried him out of it. Big Lazavidovic grabs it. Handballs then to Michael Frost. His first kick of the day to full forward. Sam Jones a bit of a chance. Riley all over the back of him. Jones goes to ground. Riley kept his feet. Handballed it straight over the line. Now, if the umpire's consistent, he will pay a free kick here, and he will. And Craig O'Brien is the recipient. Non-preferred side for the right footer. And this, Finey, is a tough, tough kick.
That was a great tackle by Craig O'Brien, and let's see if he can be rewarded with a great shot of goal.
He kicked 2 in the first quarter. Drop punt on its way. Not a bad effort. Not a bad effort. What a goal from Craig O'Brien. He slots his third. Threads the needle from the non-preferred side, and St Kilda get one against the run of play. 5-3-33, Geelong 9-6-60. St Kilda cheer squad in full flight of the outer wing.
That was a fantastic shot at goal by Craig O'Brien. As you said, non-preferred side, difficult pocket at Cardinia Park, and he was able to negotiate it with aplomb. So St Kilda back within 27 points. It's a long road back, but you've got to start somewhere. Vidovic goes up in the centre of ground, does brilliantly, grabs it out of the ruck contest against Barnes. Bardsley goes one way or the other. He's facing the wrong direction, so he's got to track back with a long handball. Finally does so to young Lappin, first kick in league football. Welcome to the big stage, young man. Brewer tracks back. Knocks the ball to himself, keeps it in front of him. Oh, that's surely holding the ball now. Alistair Carr, the other debutant, has a flying shot at goal. And I tell you what, well done, Alistair Carr. There's your first goal in league football, and a couple of St Kilda debutants instrumental in a great goal.
Great call, Finey, and what a finish by Alistair Carr after Matty Lappin's first kick in league footy, wearing the long sleeves. He'd have to run around in the shower to get wet. Probably weighs about 55, 60 kilo. And the Saints, well, they're not quite back in it, but they're not fully out of it.
No, and as I said, Stan Els would be delighted that 2 of the boys that he trusted to come in to fill the breach today were involved in that goal. Poor bounce, goes the way of Vidovic, but he can only knock it as far as Wills, who tracks the ball towards the boundary, knocks it to himself. He's got a bit of time. Wills, he's collected good and proper by Nicky Winmar. Is that a free kick down the field? These 2 boys are going at it now. Will's not too happy with the treatment he received, and Winmar more than happy to give him a little bit more. It is a free kick downfield. Let's see whether they go on with it again.
I think Winmar probably still a bit steamed up now. He's recovered from that heavy clash from Gary Ablett about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Deferred payment. Robert Scott kicks the ball deep into the Geelong forward line and mistiming his fly at the ball, Peter Everett, and the result was that David Mensch had a clear run at it. And the ungainly Cat Ford has an opportunity to put another one on the board for Geelong. So here he is, David Mensch, 35 metres out. Not always the best kick at goal, but that was right through the middle. So David Mensch taking full toll of that mistimed fly at the ball by Peter Everett. And once again, it's 27 points the difference. 10-6-66, the Cats lead St Kilda 6-3-39 down here at Cardinia Park on a bright sunny afternoon.
3 goals to 1, or 3 goals to 2 in fact in this second quarter. The margin was 20 points at quarter time. Now it's going to be a free kick to John Barnes, who's a bit groggy getting up.
Wow, that was just a really good piece of ruck work by Lazar Vidovic, and Barnes injured himself when he landed on the ground.
Now, handballs to McGrath, and Frost was all over the back of him. Good tackle, rewarded, and he goes out wide to Alistair Carr, who moments ago kicked his first goal in league footy. And there's a whistle here. Massive pack of 6 fly at the footy. Early whistle. Wakeland was interfered with in the marking contest. He kicks out in the direction of Sam Jones, and that is a very good mark. Under pressure, the young man from Tasmania. And he'll go back from about 35 to 40 metres. No angle to speak of. And line up for his second goal. Before the Jones kick, the Saints trail by 27 points. Drop punt on the way. And he's just missed. He's creating some chances though. Like the cut of his jib, Sam Jones. And St Kilda trail by 26 points. 10-6 to 6-4. And that is on the Tooheys Red scoreboard.
Well, Tim Darcy decides he's going to give a torpedo punt return for the ball, and it doesn't come off all that well, but clears the 50-metre line. Nicky Winmar tracking back. His kick only goes as far as Kenny Hinkley. He swings his left boot into the ball. Goes beyond the 50-metre, or towards the 50-metre line. Beautifully picked up by Frankie Peckett coming off the halfback flank, and his kick was perfect too. Alistair Carr growing in confidence after that goal. Leads forward, takes a mark and gives the ball back to Peckett. Second kick, not as good as the first by Peckett. Intercepted by Riley. Long sweeping handball. Finds his way to maybe Wills, maybe Forsman. They're similarly inclined. Knocked down. Pickering at the drop of the ball, cops one to the top of the head. The ball jars free. Tracking back, Buddha Hocking. He's been chased by young Matty Lappin, but Hocking able to get a ball deep into the forward line. That should be a free to St Kilda. Holding of the jumper by David Mention. Well picked up by the umpire, David Grant, to take the free kick. Mench had a whole handful of Grant's jumper.
Yeah, not sure what Mench was complaining about. Jack the blind miner could have seen that. Nice kick out wide to Vidovic. Handballs to the running Bardsley. And the left foot kick is neat as well. Finds Burke. Bardsley kept running. Received the handball from Nathan Burke. And Christian Bardsley kicks to centre half forward. Now, is that over the shoulder? It was an aggressive spoil. O'Brien caught high over the shoulder. And the sharpshooter already has 3 to his name. His body language suggests he wants to pass it off. It would be a monster kick from here. Is he going to go the torp? He is going to go the torp. And he gets onto it. What a touch right on the line. Great effort from Craig O'Brien. And St Kilda still creating opportunities there. 6-5-41, Geelong 10-6-66 in the shadows of half-time.
John Barnes takes the mark from the resulting kick in and goes quickly down the wing. Looking for his man Brewer. Trying hard to bring him to the ground was Carr and Frost, but they did so illegally apparently. And Shane Brewer will take the ball just back of centre wing. Shane Brewer kicks the ball further afield. Big contest there. Danny Frawley giving Stoneham no room to work in, and he thumps that ball out of bounds. So well played by the Saint defender, and Stoneham really hasn't had much of a say on this game at the moment, thanks to the great work, sterling work by the Saint skipper.
From the restart, Hocking going to ground, still fight out a handball to Couch. Handball to Pickering, off a step, kicks it long and strong. Punch away from by David Grant. Peckett made it Anderson's problem. Back to Peckett, he's going to have to kick on his non-preferred left. Just rubs the kick very cleverly, in fact, to Nathan Burke, who can run 10 and then kick at 50. So the Saints out of trouble momentarily. Big fly there by Barnes, who thought the mark should have been paid. Storming through was Alistair Carr. He's got a big body on him. Cleared a path there for Frost, who's also powerfully built. Frost works his way back through traffic, and the Saints will go forward through to Lappin. It's a wobbly kick to centre half forward. O'Brien leaps high to grab it. Little handball then to Anthony Harvey. Chip pass, no mark taken. Oh, there's O'Brien. Oh no, Sam Jones. He's just a bigger version of Craig O'Brien. Winmar goes tumbling over the top of Riley. Body sprawled all over the turf. Spectacular, exciting passage of play, but it all amounts to naught. It'll be a boundary throw in right half forward for St Kilda.
Mansfield comes third up and knocks the ball down. Scott back to Mansfield, who ducks under a tackle, gets it to Grant Tanner. Oh wow, you can't possibly play that as a free kick, umpire. and he's paid too high to Mansfield, who initiated the contact, ducked his head, and gets the free kick. Well, that's lovely. The ball clears the defensive group of St Kilda players. First down to it is Bairstow. Now, Bairstow gets the handball out. Centering kick by the Cats. Where's it going to end up? Running back with the flight of the ball was Carr, who's been pretty good for the last few minutes. Matty Lappin, well done, young man. Holds his feet. Great play. Handball out to Frawley ultimately. And Frawley's able to put St Kilda deep into the forward line. Oh, that's a crazy climb by Sam Jones. Not penalised. Lucky. And he goes in hard afterwards. Worth his value. Strooper, dispossessed. That should be dropping the ball. The whistle's disappeared all of a sudden. What's going on here, umpire? Bardsley takes it out. He drops the ball. Driving on top of it is Pickering, and finally a ball up. Boy, oh boy.
Crazy stuff, but exhilarating.
Exhilarating, I tell you what. The umpire must have had an RDO for 15 seconds there.
Yes, well, the umpires today, John Harvey, Grant Vernon and Murray Bird.
As you said, I don't know how many finals they ended up doing together, but I would have thought 0 would be a very, very close guess.
Yeah, now Anderson's chipped that towards Anthony Harvey, who's clattered into front on. And the young Saint will have a shot for goal from about 45 metres. He's gone back a long way. You can see there at the bottom of your screen, the 50-metre arc. Anthony Harvey, brilliant bloodlines, 45-degree angle, right foot drop punt. It's not a bad effort. Oh, touched on the line again.
Was it? Was it?
Oh, no, free kick.
Free to the Saints.
So is it going to be... There was such a big pack there. I thought at first maybe Strooper. No, it's going to be Sam Jones. So Sam Jones, surely he couldn't miss. Don't call me Shirley.
Oh dear.
Slams it into the post, the youngster.
Deary me.
He's getting plenty of looks.
Deary me.
6-6-42 St Kilda. The post still shaking. 10-6-66 Geelong. And both our heads are still shaking.
Maybe just a little bit, took it a little bit too easy. I don't know. Would love to have his time over again. But he's certainly made an impression in this, his second game of footy. At the drop of the ball, Buddha Hocking swings around on the left boot, looking for Tanner, who runs onto the ball strongly ahead of Winmar. This is a good piece of play by the Cats. Kicks the ball forward, knocking the ball to advantage. There was Frawley. Now, surely he was met front on. Anyhow, look, I don't want to be biased. I understand that.
No, go on.
I do have allegiances, but it's not just a matter of 50-50s. There seems to be a pattern in this game, and it certainly favours the home team, which often happens down here at Cardinia Park. The ball thrown into the turf, good bounce. Vidovic and Stoneham go head to head, knocked out ultimately, picked up by Couch, swings the ball out to Scott. Scott goes one way then the other. Anderson trying to track him. The ball goes back into the centre of the ground. Hocking gets his hand on the ball. Couch tackled by Anderson. Good pressure football here. Was that holding the ball against Burke? Umpire says no. Play on. Ultimately picked up there by Wills, who dropped it like a red-hot spud. And I like the look of Matty Lappin. He's come on in the heat of the game and does not look out of place.
No, he's been very impressive. 2 debutants the Saints are playing today. Sam Jones with the free kick. Long ball, big flight. It might have been Wakeland. Here's Carr again. Spun Brewer in the tackle. Allows Bardsley in. And here's a speedster. Takes a bounce. Open goal and rams it through. So the Saints get some reward for effort. And it's back to an 18-point ball game. Close to half-time. St Kilda 7-6-48. Geelong 10-6-66. And the Saints are hanging around. They were, 5.5 goals down about 10 minutes or so ago. But they're going to go into half-time as long as they don't concede a late one here. A manageable 18 points in arrears.
Well, anybody that knows the history of the club and their old club song of being down by the seaside know that the Saints like to hang around, and that's exactly what they're doing at Cardinia Park today. Back in the centre of the ground, Everett, part of a good ruck combination with Vidovic, gets the ball down to Damon Shaw. He's been okay this half, better than okay, he's been good. And so Sam Jones growing in confidence. I like the look of these young Saints that have grown in confidence as the game's gone on. Craig O'Brien getting in the back of I think that's Hocking there, and a free kick going to the number 1 for the Cats, who finds the ball and makes good work of it, getting it to Bairstow. Bairstow chips the ball into the centre of the ground, picked up there by Brewer. Brewer further afield to Tanner. Tanner back to Hocking. Steve Hocking, brother of Gary, kicks the ball low and hard and too low for Stoneham. He's dragged it in. Now, I don't know what the rules are back in 1994, but you wouldn't want to do that in the future. I'm just telling you that, Barry.
Yeah, that was, I had no intent to let it out, but anyway, a bounce is called for. Late in the second term, Stoneham the tap. Frawley pushed as he kicked it. Everett bumped as he handballed to Burke. Burke tumbles a punt towards centre half forward, and that time they pay front on contact. Very inconsistent today, the umpiring. Mansfield the recipient, Bardsley the offender. Mansfield sweeps a long left foot kick back to centre half forward. Vidovic, or Everett should I say, is in the way.
Oh, that's surely a 50-metre penalty.
That's extraordinary fine.
Umpire says A-OK. Nathan Burke swings the ball out wide, Damon Shaw tracking it, and he's met solidly by a couple of Cats. Able to get his kick away, contesting as he always does, Craig O'Brien, and he comes back after Forsman dropped the ball. Strooper trying hard, Carr trying hard. I'll tell you what, credit where credit's due, St Kilda have been as plucky as a featherless chicken. They have absolutely given their all in the second half of this second quarter, just when it looked like the Cats were going to blow the game away. And it's not big name players, it's first gamers, second gamers, and a couple of guys that wouldn't have made the team had the side been at full strength. So well done. Picked up by Bardsley, swings the ball on his right boot forward. Now that was an attempted mark by Barnes, but he drops it. Shane Wakeland, another youngster, kicks the ball forward, hits the behind post, so St Kilda will have another chance deep in their forward line to launch a final attack here in this second quarter that hasn't gone to script as far as the local Cat supporters would have thought.
No doubt about that. Could be only seconds remaining. In fact, there is. Siren goes, and 3 goals apiece in that term. Geelong by 18 points at the main change. 10-6, 66 to St Kilda 7-6, 48.
Here we are back for the second half. Geelong by 3 goals against a St Kilda side that nobody gave much of a chance at all this afternoon, but they've kept within striking distance. Here we go for the second half. Both ruckmen misread the bounce. Comes down to Brewer. And the umpire says, free kick to Lazar Vidovic. Don't know what it was for, but the Saints will take it. Poor handball. Puts Shaw under all sorts of pressure. Able to get the ball to Nathan Burke, and Sam Jones competes well. At the fall of the ball, Dean Anderson puts his boot into the ball, sends it deep forward for St Kilda, but standing tall in defence, mainly because it was over the top of little Craig O'Brien, was Johnny Barnes. I'll tell you what, his kick dropped by McGrath, tracking back Shane Wakeland. Now can he find somebody? He's looking for Strooper. Oh, Strooper drops what he should have taken, swings back. I'll tell you what, it's not a bad kick. Just offline for David Strooper. Would have made his job a whole lot easier, Beaver, had he taken the mark from that good kick by Wakeland.
Yeah, golden opportunity butchered. So the Saints attacking first in this third quarter. As Riley with the kick in. Bounces a bit awkwardly for Barnes. Burke almost stripped him of the football. Barnes composed though, and he picks out Tanner. Grant Tanner, defensive side of centre wing. Long down the line, 2 Saints almost spoil each other. In fact, the mark wasn't paid. Couch will soccer it off the ground. This is where the turf's just a bit shifting. Darcy, handball to Robert Scott, almost run down by Frost. Kicks towards full forward. Grant leads Mensch in the race for the footy. Alistair Carr has been quite composed in his first game. Big-bodied utility. Bangs it back towards centre wing. No mark taken. McGrath there with almost the body spoil on Sam Jones. Pickering's got it. Anthony Harvey's got him. Ball spills free to Sam Jones, who handballs to Anderson, who handballs to Damon Shaw, who's taken 2 bounces, make it 3. Darcy gives chase. Usually a lovely long left foot kick. This is no exception. Barnes drops the mark. Oh, Strooper's clattered into by O'Brien. O'Brien picks it up. This would be a freakish goal, but he's just missed to the left. And St Kilda looking dangerous, Finey, as they close to within 16 points.
That was amazing by O'Brien. He was taking no prisoners, whether friend or foe. Barged through that contest and almost kicked, as you said, a spectacular goal. The designated kick-innerer for the Cats, Darcy. Normally a beautiful user of the ball. And this is no exception. Nice long kick out of the defensive post. Big punch back by Vidovic to put more pressure on the Cats' defence. Tracking back with the ball is Hinkley. He's sort of desperate. Fumbles, bumbles and finally punches it out with no intention to keep it in. And the umpire will throw it in front of various signs of advertising here at Geelong. Local companies, insurance companies, half-price haircuts. They're a ragtag lot down here. Rural setting. Damon Shaw has a quick snap at goal and just lands short and taken there by Riley. Handball's out. Dangerous handball. McGrath, met by O'Brien, was able to spin out of that one back to Riley. Riley's kick's an absolute shocker. Out of bounds on the full. And that's a minute he'd rather forget. A hospital handball followed by a kick out of bounds on the full. Nicky Winmar to take it on the paint of 50.
So Nicky Winmar hard up against the fence. St Kilda doing all the attacking in the opening minutes of the third quarter. Winmar lets fly. It is across the face. Oh, huge grab by Shane Wakeland. Magnificent mark from the youngster. And Shane Wakeland has silenced the Kardinia Park crowd with an enormous grab. One that the man standing at full forward at the other end would have been proud of in G. Ablett. So Shane Wakeland. Can he bring the Saints back within 10 points? They've butchered a couple of golden opportunities early in this third quarter. Tight angle, preferred side for the right footer. And he's kicked a goal. So the Saints finally get reward for effort early in the third. And they're 8-8-56. Brother. To Geelong 10-6-66. And we hope you're enjoying the coverage from Kardinia Park. St Kilda given little to no hope of causing the upset today. But they are giving Geelong plenty to think about. They've closed to within 10 points after trailing by 33 during the second term.
Ball back in the centre of the ground. Spiked by Lazar Vidovic down, picked up by Hocking, part of that strong Cats midfield. He's able to centre the ball, misses his intended target, which gives Anderson the chance to scramble the ball forward for St Kilda. Great mark at the back of the pack by Sam Jones. And the boy from Tassie is showing his wares this afternoon with a beautiful pass on the chest of Strooper. Well, it might not be Lowe and Lockett, but on that occasion, Sam Jones and Strooper combined beautifully. And here's a chance for super-duper David Strooper, the former Lion, to pull the Saints to within 4 points. Crowd hushed. And they will be if it goes through, I can tell you that. Strooper goes back, kicks, and misses. Dear me. Bit anticlimactic there, Beef.
They got the Cats on the rack here. Finey, but they just can't convert. It's a 1-3 so far in this third term. And St Kilda doing all the attacking. They should be closer than 9 points. There's an argument to say they should be in front. Bairstow under pressure at centre half back. Kicks it across the ground. Alistair Carr dropped the mark, but he's got enough time to recover. Spun in the tackle with a handball to Lappin. Under pressure, kicked on his left boot, turned it over. And Mansfield with the intercept mark. But this Geelong defence having to work overtime in the first 10 minutes of the third term. Michael Mansfield, such a good player, kicks to centre wing, and Tanner takes a strong mark in front of Winmar. On hands and knees, handballs to Hocking, who's going to pump it long to right half forward. The ball hasn't been down there too much in this quarter, and Frawley with a well-judged mark. And had he moved on to Ablett? I think that was head-to-head with Ablett, and he kicks out to centre wing.
Barnes tracks the ball back ahead of Anderson. Goes one way, then the other. Looks for Mansfield on the overlap, or is it Kenny Hinkley? It is Hinkley. Hinkley kicks the ball forward. An early lead by Lappin, and a great mark by Matty Lappin. I like the cut of this young man's jib, albeit a narrow one. He kicks the ball into the centre of the ground, finds the far more experienced Nathan Burke, and Berkey kicks the ball forward, looking for and finding Wakeland, who's growing with every foray forward. Wakeland's kick is a scrubby one, but just lands short of the diving Sam Jones. Diving on the ball, Bardsley, desperate to keep it in the St Kilda forward 50. And this is not bad by the Saints at all. I tell you what, you cannot help but be impressed by this band of youngsters and boys from other clubs. They're really giving it a red-hot go. Kenny Hinkley spins out. The boy from Camperdown sends it forward. At the back of the pack, Frawley, the back on his man Stoneham. That man Lappin, he's looked so comfortable since coming on the ground. Brewer able to get through a tackle. Forsman goes one way, then the other. Finally puts the ball on the boot, straight up in the air, up the chimney, as Beaver likes to say. At the drop of the ball, Scott perceived by Frankie Packett. Free kick to the Saints, and the Saints are giving every bit of what they're worth, and they're a good value here this afternoon. I'll tell you what, if you made the journey down the highway as a Saints fan, you'd be bloody pleased.
Justin Packett kicks the centre wing. Sam Jones again takes the grab. So Sam Jones and Shane Wakelin. The Cats defenders barely would have known their names before today. Kicked out for Wakelin again with a huge leap. Spread eagles the pack. Bardsley with a handball to Harvey. Harvey kicks on the left boot. Is the mark taken? O'Brien's claiming it, and the umpire has paid it. So Craig O'Brien, almost directly in front, who's been the Saints' leading goal kicker for the afternoon, has got a chance to bring St Kilda within 3 points. And this crowd has been quiet, and a big crowd in as well at Cardinia Park. O'Brien, the short approach. Drop punt on the way, splits the middle. And St Kilda with the only 2 goals of the third quarter. In fact, they've kicked 2-3 to nothing, and they trail by just 3 points after trailing by 5.5 goals midway through the second. 10-6-66 Geelong, St Kilda 9-9-63.
I'm pinching myself, Beav. I'm seriously, when Geelong got to 30 points out, I really felt it was a matter of how far, and given the Saints' last up performance against Melbourne, where they lost by 12 goals at Waverley, I wasn't expecting good things, but this is amazing. Tracking back with the ball, Michael Frost gets it to Burke. Burke looking for somebody up forward. The man was Craig O'Brien. He was caught behind. He makes a contest as Brewer tracks back. St Kilda looking to hit the front here. And that could be a free kick to O'Brien. He's been taken head on. Umpire says no. Strooper knocks the ball out. Desperation stakes. It's Hocking. It's Burke. 2 of the more desperate in the AFL finally comes out to Mansfield, and then to Riley, one of the less desperate in the AFL. Riley swings around on his right boot, in position Vidovic, but coming into from the side was a good mark taken by... Interested to know who that is. Hickmott.
Hickmott.
Oh,
yeah.
Young Hickey. Well, there you go, Hickmott. Just coming onto the ground. Track back there, Matty Lappin, Beaver.
Yes, in the long sleeves. And... oh, lovely kick. Good mark by Vidovic. And the big ruckman handballs inboard to Burke, who's been really prominent. Kicks from next to the centre circle. And he's kicking inside forward 50 again. Riley can't hold the mark. Oh, he has been paid it, has he? Thought you had to hold it, not sniff it. But he's been paid the mark. And this Geelong defence, are they under pressure? They'd be hoping their midfield and forward line can start to click into gear, because they are doing overtime, double time, triple time at the moment in trying to keep the Saints at bay. Kicks out looking for Barnes at the back. Bairstow didn't get a kind bounce. Scooped it up though. Needs someone to run by to give it to by hand. He does the Pickering. Sweeps a 20-metre handball to Hickmott. Hickmott off a step after he straightened the body. The young redhead to centre half forward. No mark taken. Back of the contest, Shanahan steams through. Virtually threw it to Burke. Burke then a little low ball out to centre wing. It's a beauty to Damon Shaw, the long striding left footer. He drives it towards the hot spot. Oh! What a mark by Strooper, and he should be taken to the goal line. Is Mansfield actually going to be reported for that? Either way, he should be taken to the goal line. This will be a certain goal, and St Kilda are going to hit the front as they continue to dominate this third term.
I'll tell you what, it was only a few weeks ago we saw Lockett clean up Caven and
get 8 weeks.
I thought we were right back at the SCG.
So David Strooper, dead in front, would have to fall over to miss it. He puts St Kilda in front. Extraordinary turnaround at Cardinia Park. St Kilda 10-9-69. Geelong 10-6-66. Still anchored on their halftime score. Yep, that's it, folks. Hard to believe. St Kilda with the only 3 goals of the third term after surging late in the second, and they lead it by 3 points.
This is quite amazing. A key forward setup of young Wakeland from South Australia, Sam Jones from Tasmania, Strooper from Fitzroy. Who would have thunk it? The Saints in front. Desperate stuff in the centre of the ground. Nathan Burke, he's diving in on everything, making every contest a willing one. And this Cats midfield, much vaunted, are not getting their hands on the ball first because of the desperation of the likes of Nathan Burke, young Anthony Harvey, you see there. Bardsley's been desperate at the fall of the ball. Taken out of the ruck by Barnes. Swings the handball wide. Shaw dives on the ball. Saints are going in left, right and centre. There's that man Burke again. There's Harvey. Finally gets out. But Bardsley intercepts the 3 or 4 mentioned deep into the forward line. At the fall of the ball, Hocking tracking it back to the goal square, chased by Strooper. It's pressure here. The Cats back line is under plenty of it. Forsman under pressure from Harvey. Gets the ball at the top of the ball. Swings back onto his left boot, or right boot, and finds it a 3.5 metre kick to Johnny Barnes.
And the Cats just need some composure. They've turned it over again though. And Michael Frost takes the intercept grab at midfield. Handballs to Winmar. Was on his left, turned back onto his right. To right half forward, another massive leap by Sam Jones, or maybe O'Brien. Mark wasn't paid. Steve Hocking streams away. Kicks to centre wing. They just can't win a ball between the arcs. Bardsley read the punch well. Kicked to centre half forward. That was Sam Jones. Ball falls to Harvey. Open goal. Chip pass to O'Brien. Open goal, and he hammers it through. This is incredible stuff. And St Kilda now lead by 9 points, 75 to 66. It's 11-9 to 10-6. And St Kilda fans in the outer in absolute raptures here at Kardinia Park.
I tell you what, the Geelong crowd are stunned. Stunned silence. They cannot believe what they are seeing. And I think a few of the Geelong players likewise. They're looking around at teammates expecting somebody to turn the tap on, and the only water that's flowing is flowing down the St Kilda end of the ground. Saints, Winmar, handball, stringing out of the back line Anderson. Let's see what the Saints can produce here. Sam Jones on the lead. He's been mighty in this third quarter, grown in stature as the game's gone longer. Sam Jones looks further afield. This kick not brilliant and intercepted there. A good defensive mark by Mansfield. Wow. Nobody picked this. Still a long way to go, of course, and we know that Geelong boast a number of match winners, so there's a fair way for the Saints to get over the line. The knock forward, Wakeland, who's been great as well. Handballs to Anderson. Anderson feeds it out to this young, impressive boy Lappin. First game of league football. Big kick, Sam Jones! Wowza!
He's playing like Royce Hart.
Boy, oh boy. Where has this kid been kept? This is the best kept secret in league football. Wow, Sam Jones, if you don't mind. Came from nowhere.
Well, the Saints have done well out of Tassie over the years.
They certainly have.
They might have plucked another one for him.
Well, he missed one from point blank range. I'm talking 3 metres out. Let's see if he's better from distance. Sam Jones goes back, puts a big boot into the ball, but it's offline. One behind.
He could have 5 or 6.
Wow.
So
The kid's got props, I can tell you that.
10-point lead to St Kilda. Yep. You heard that right, folks. St Kilda undermanned at Geelong, leading by 10 points halfway through the third. Riley with the long kick in. Alistair Carr dropped the mark, the debutant. Bardsley's had an enormous third term. He's going to drive it back to the hot spot. Geelong defence under pressure again. Where are the crummers? Strooper crashed into Anthony Harvey. Winmar tries to create a contest. And the Saints, in their eagerness, are almost falling over each other. They know they've got Geelong really on the run here, and we're going to have a bounce, 25 to 30 out from the St Kilda goal directly in front. Wakeland third up. Damon Shaw couldn't control it. Anthony Harvey's been impressive. Handballs to his own advantage. Open goal as he kicked it. Yes, he has.
Wow!
This is incredible. We're running out of adjectives. St Kilda now by 16 points. Geelong still scoreless in this third term. They're 10-6-66 and St Kilda are 12-10-82, all on the Tooheys red scoreboard.
Not just scoreless, Beaver. They've barely got the ball past centre. Very few inside entries into inside 50. And St Kilda are just pouring on the pressure.
5-4
And Gary Ablett's been moved onto the centre wing to try and inspire his teammates. Couch kicks the ball forward. Mensch tracking the ball, able to mark about 50 metres out. Swings onto the right boot, kicks right to the heart of the goal square. It's a beautiful kick, actually. And Stoneham, this is a desperately needed shot at goal for the Cats. One that he has to put through against the tighter play, but credit where credit's due. Mensch took that mark on 50. He didn't dilly, nor did he dally. He got straight onto his right boot, wheeled around and picked out Stoneham 50 metres away. So a vital kick here. They've got to turn the flow somehow, and it's through the middle. So, no, it isn't. One behind. Well, maybe it was the cheer squad behind the goals trying to con the umpires that conned me. But that's a bad miss by Stoneham, and Saints retain that 15, 16 point lead. It's 15 points to the good, Beaver.
Terrible miss by Barry Stoneham. From the kick-in, Burke received it in space, ran his full measure long down the line, and Ablett, who's been moved up onto centre wing, as Mark Fine told you a couple of moments ago, takes the mark. Handball's inboard to Hocking. In the shade, he kicks it towards centre half forward, and there's plenty of Saints there. They're not out of trouble yet. Shanahan composed, kicks on the left foot, out to the impressive Alistair Carr, tries to tap it to his own advantage. Brewer all over the back of him like a cheap suit. Carr plays the percentages, and it is out of bounds, centre wing on the outer side.
Great play there, and quite fittingly, A. Carr runs it out in front of the forward side. Ball to be thrown in. Both ruckmen missed the opportunity to tap it down. Damon Shaw, who's been another one of St Kilda's excellent unheralded players, gets the ball forward. Anthony Harvey's kick must have gone 7 metres up and down. Ends up in the hands of Hinkley. Swings the ball to the top end of the square. That is the centre square. Grant goes without it. Good play by Hickmott. Gets it out to Ablett. Can he inspire them? Gary Ablett from 55 metres out. Goes with a flat kick. It's touched on the way through. Excited fans behind the goals. Don't know the rules. Boys, girls, when it's touched, it's a point. But you do have to explain things to people down the highway.
Cameraman just getting a little excited or maybe frustrated. As again from the kick-in, David Grant with the mark. They'll come back into the centre corridor. Nathan Burke, what a quarter he's had. Handballs to the running Peckett. Bounces on the defensive edge of the centre square. And then a left foot kick out to left half forward. Didn't do Shane Wakelin any favours. Tries to control it. Brewer with the little tap forward. Alistair Carr in there fighting hard again. Wakelin goes off the ground. Then picks it up. Then darts around a cat opponent. Then kicks it long towards the left forward pocket. Which way is it going to bounce? It'll bounce out of bounds, but it'll give St Kilda another excellent chance to add to this 14-point lead. Remembering they trailed by 18 points at half-time. They've kicked the only 5 goals of the third quarter, and they lead at 12-10 to 10-8. 82 plays 68.
Vidovic and Barnes again go up in the contest. Knocked down to Bairstow. Gets a scrubby kick. Doesn't quite clear the area, but David Mensch runs onto it. His handball is errant. Intercepted by David Grant. Has a flying shot from 55 metres. Winmar back with the flight. Oh, gee. Not a million miles away from marking that ball on his chest, running with the flight of the ball, but ultimately through for a behind. And once again, St Kilda 15 points to the good as Riley looks to bring the ball back for Geelong. Riley comes grandstand side looking for Barnes in front of the pack. Well spoiled by David Grant. That ball's going to find its way out of bounds. So St Kilda deep in the third quarter. Incredulous as we might sound, it's happening, and it's absolutely the right result or the right score at the moment. St Kilda all over the Cats, lead by 15. Bairstow at the drop of the ball. Oh, Gary Ablett up over the top of Danny Frawley, takes a great mark. Swings the ball into inside 50 for the Cats. Can he inspire something? Shanahan, who's been resolute in defence, brings it down. An opportunity for Forsman to kick their first goal of the quarter. And this time he's hit the post. Well, The Saints living a little dangerously there, but they cannot find the goals at the moment, the Cats, and that's 14 points the difference. Saints breathe a sigh of relief. Jamie Shanahan to bring it back for the red, white and black.
The Cats, 3 close misses. Still goalless in this term as Vidovic takes a strong mark. And the big ruckman brings it back inboard. Nathan Burke, what a conduit he's been in this third quarter between defence and attack. Long ball to centre wing. Punched away by Hinkley and he'll get his own crumb. Little kick round the corner. Peckett did well to try and keep it in front of him. Ball over the boundary line and will now have a throw in. Big crowd in it. Cardinia Park. Not quite yet the taxpayer-funded stadium that it will become. Still a bit of a toilet for opposition fans, but Geelong fans currently stunned. Forsman gets on the end of a handball from Couch from 52 metres. He kicks long to full forward. Target there, Stoneham. Shanahan with the punch. Stoneham goes again. What's McGrath doing up there? They're doing anything. Malcolm Blight flicking.
Ball!
That should be holding the ball, and it will be. And it'll be a free kick there to Spud Frawley, which becomes a free handball out wide to Anthony Harvey, who's caught high. And that was, not great there from Darren Forsman, the youngster, caught across the chops. Easy free kick to pay.
Nasty piece of play there by Forskin. The ball chipped to the centre of the goals by Harvey. Over to Shanahan. Shanahan goes wide, flares it out to Carr. That's a mark umpire. He's had a great game, Alistair Carr. Excellent debut, set for a long and prosperous career at St Kilda. Alistair Carr goes to the centre of the ground, knocked away from Burke but picked up by Frost. The big bustling Saint forward kicks the ball, looking for... Oh, he was impeded there. Craig O'Brien should have got the free kick. Strooper dispossessed. Where are you, umpire? The ball knocked towards the boundary. Winmar desperate, out of bounds. Unlucky St Kilda. Had his arm dragged down as he was going for the mark, Craig O'Brien, and should have been a free kick right in front of the big sticks.
So left half forward where the 50-metre arc meets the boundary. Barnes takes front position. Ball gets to the back. Bardsley, run down. Was he legged? No, the umpire is going to say correctly too. Objective commentary here in the box at Geelong, Mansfield.
Even a broken watch is right 2 times a day, Beaver.
Out to Hickmott. Oh, Tanner's handball straight to Nathan Burke. And Burke a little low daisy cutting pass. He can't find the intended target in Strooper. Wakeland, does he overrun it? Strooper dives in after it again. Wakeland taking on a couple of Cats to Winmar. Short ball, Bardsley. It went far enough. And Christian Bardsley has marked 40 out on slightly better than a 45-degree angle and can push this Saints lead out to 20 points. 12-11 to 10-9 before the Bardsley kick. Socks down. Christian Bardsley. High, long drop punt is a goal.
Whoa!
Christian Bardsley, you beauty. St Kilda moved to 13-11-89. Geelong 10-9-69. A withering third quarter from the visitors. They've kicked 6 goals to 0. Finally to turn this game on its head.
St Kilda by 20 points. You wouldn't have thunk it. 30 points down halfway through the second quarter.
I'm going to have another brownie.
It's a 50-point turnaround. A big thank you to the ladies here at Cardinia Park. Fantastic catering right throughout the afternoon. Nathan Burke, another clearance for the Saints. They go forward again. Geelong under siege. In the forward line, going one way or the other. O'Brien gets the handball, looking for Frost. Picked up by Anderson. Anderson slams the ball deep into the forward line. At the drop of the ball, Strooper. Sam Jones. Did he get a boot to it? Did he get a boot to it? He did! It's a goal! St Kilda 26 points up! Sammy Jones! Wowza! Well, that's the young man's 3rd goal.
We're all wild about the Jones boy.
That's a ripper. St Kilda are 26 points up. You could hear a pin drop here at Cardinia Park. The locals do not believe what is going on.
Well, this is going to take an enormous comeback for the Cats from here. We've still got, of course, the last quarter to play. We're in the closing minutes of the third term. 44-point turnaround for the quarter from 18 down to 26 up.
Wow.
Frawley with the saving mark at centre half back. out very wide, and the ball runs away from David Grant in front of the stunned Geelong members area.
Stunned. I haven't seen the look on the faces of the people of Geelong since they had electricity connected up here 4 years ago.
Boundary throwing. Hocking sees it back over the line, and more work for the boundary umpire to do. So John Barnes, who's been enormous today, but he hasn't had a lot of support, particularly in this third quarter. Vidovic outpoints him here. Pickering was pickpocketed. Hickmott grabbed the loose footy. High kick. Oh, players come from all points. Anderson and Lappin crash into each other. And, how on earth is that a Geelong free kick?
Wow.
That is extraordinary.
Well, that's imaginative. Big kick forward. St Kilda looking to maintain this 26-point lead. Gary Ablett backing backwards, falls over, trips over his own feet, wants a free kick. No thanks, Gary. Cleared by Frankie Peckett. Beautiful pass to Vidovic, who's been strong around the ground. Handball not so good. Picked up at his bootlaces. Well done, Dean Anderson. And Anderson flares it wide. And it's that man again, Sam Jones. This has been quite the quarter of football. Sam Jones, remember the name. Big fist, defensively by Mensch. Falls to Strooper, to Frost. An unlikely pairing. Not surprisingly, the ball bobbles free. Hickmott gets the ball out to Hocking, who's met by Alistair Carr. Carr kicks the ball off the ground, somewhat accidentally but fortuitously, and it runs out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
And that's the three-quarter time siren, I think. Yes, it's still hasn't been acknowledged by the umpire.
Three-quarter time. Look at that scoreboard. Read it out, Bruce.
14-11-95 the Saints. 10-9-69 Geelong in that quarter. St Kilda added 7-5 to 3 behinds, and they go into the final term finally with a 26-point lead. Can the young undermanned visitors hang on?
This would be a famous victory for St Kilda. Barnes up in the centre. What can Geelong do? They've got 1 quarter to set things to right. Damon Shaw's kick only goes as far as Liam Pickering. Liam Pickering with a big left boot sends it forward. At the back of the pack, here's one of the changes. Ken Hinkley's moved forward. Ken Hinkley shoots a goal, and Ken Hinkley hits the post. Well, you need a bit of luck to maintain a lead. And they've hit the post a couple of times. Their last shots at goal. And let's see whether St Kilda can capitalise on that good fortune. David Grant to bring the ball in for the Saints.
Remembering Gary Ablett, just the 2 goals this afternoon. He hasn't got a super record against the Saints. As the long kick in, Ablett actually has to stand the mark as Shanahan takes the grab. Down to centre wing, Frost. Really strong mark. And dealt with a little bit by Darcy after the grab. No extra penalty. But Michael Frost, awkward kicking style but effective. Long left foot kick to centre half forward. Plenty of hands on the footy. Hickmott slipped over. Might be able to recover. And what's the call here? Free kick to Pickering. Must have been too high. So the home side probably had the best, well not probably, have had the best of the umpiring this afternoon. Out wide to Mansfield. St Kilda lead it by 25 points. Mansfield swings onto his left boot. Hinkley the target. Grant there with him. Hinkley, clever handball. Forceman will run into an open goal. 1 bounce. Can he thread the needle? He can. And the Cats get the all-important first goal of the final term. And there is no way known this side is done yet. So Geelong now within 19 points. 76 plays 95. 11-10 to 14-11. And we're early in the third term. St Kilda has still got a lot of work to do to wriggle out of this one.
The ball bounced in the centre of the ground, favours Geelong, and the resultant tap out. Good work by Anthony Harvey. Got desperate, got down to the fall of the ball, and wins a free kick for the Saints. The younger brother of champ Robert Harvey. Anthony Harvey flares the ball out wide. Opportunity there for Wakeland at the back of the pack. Met solidly and knocking the ball. Now that's dropping the ball, umpire. Clear dropping the... Oh, you've got to be kidding. I'd love to keep commentating, but I want to reach out of the box and throttle that umpire. Barnes takes 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 3 bounces, 4 bounces. takes advantage of some horrible umpiring and kicks the ball forward. Picked up on the half volley by Shanahan. Well done by the big Saints defender. He gets the ball back to Vidovic. And Lazar Vidovic, who can he find further afield? Tries to spot out Sam Jones, and why wouldn't you? Streaming out of defence though is Manfield, being chased by Jones. Great tackle, holding the ball. Umpire calls advantage, or no, brings it back to Sam Jones. What a fantastic run and chase down by the big man.
He is so athletic, this youngster.
Wow.
Just his second game. So on the outer centre wing, Sam Jones has been a revelation today. To centre half forward. Frost got an unkind bounce. Winmar went to ground. Tanner under pressure, stripped of the football, should have been penalised. Winmar merges with it. Low pass, looking there for Strooper. Went without it. Winmar goes again. Handball's in favour of Anderson, the ex-Hawk. He's got to beat three cats. He gets half a kick away. Hickmott with half the smother. And then Pickering handballed into the back of Hickmott, confronted by the imposing Vidovic. Pickering goes again. Geelong, you can tell the desperation and urgency. They've upped the ante, but St Kilda matching them at the moment. We'll have a bounce. St Kilda lead by 19 points. The ball in neutral territory.
Great call, Beaver. This game has definitely gone up a notch or two. Geelong desperate and St Kilda doing everything in their powers to hold out the home team. Tap out to Winmar, being tracked by Tanner. Winmar too slick for Tanner though. Swings around, gets the ball back into front of the teeth of goal. Great mark, Craig O'Brien. He has had it all over Steve Hocking this afternoon, and Craig O'Brien used his body, used his nous, and can restore St Kilda's three-quarter time lead, or close to, by putting St Kilda back 25 points to the good. Important kick here. COB, Craig O'Brien leans back, right through the middle. Great goal by Craig O'Brien. St Kilda. Wow. What a fantastic effort, leading by 25 points.
Craig O'Brien's sixth goal of the afternoon. They lead 15-11, 101 to 11-10, 76. And O'Brien has been nothing short of spectacular. So the answering goal, umpire John Harvey, not the racing car driver, gets us underway with a good bounce. Barnes got first paw to it. Wakeland coming in off the square. Could have been penalised. Barnes gets it back again. He's been terrific to Darcy, to Mensch, all by hand. Mensch with a low kick into the left forward pocket, and Ablett on a long lead. Marks on his chest. Now the superstar has kicked just the 2 goals so far this afternoon. Can he impose himself on this contest late and see the Cats home from 48 metres? That is a miss to the right. So a 4-goal game, 15-11 to 11-11. David Grant to bring the ball back into play.
Reliable St Kilda defender, David Grant. Such a great servant of the club. Puts his boot into the ball, tried to clear the defensive area. Good attempt by Alistair Carr, almost marked the ball. And seen out of bounds by Anthony Harvey, getting a little bit of a go on from Forsman for his trouble. Vidovic, who's done all the rucking in the second half. We haven't seen Peter Everett. At the fall of the ball, Anthony Harvey kicks it to the centre of the ground. Now Hickmott claims the mark and he's going to be paid it. Don't know whether Everett's injured or not, but we haven't seen him for quite a while. The ball back to true centre half forward. Nathan Burke takes the rearward position, able to knock it to the ground, but Grant Tanner's there at the fall of the ball. At the back of the pack, I think that's a mark, is it? No, umpire calls pay on. Shanahan grabbed, Ablett picks it up, turns around, snaps, goals. We're back to an 18-point game. It's been the move that's probably sparked them a bit this last quarter, Beaver. Kenny Hinkley going forward.
No doubt, Finey.
He was the man responsible for the handball to Forsman, who got that goal, and that contested mark spilled to Ablett, and a goal resulting in that. So Malcolm Blight moved the Magnets with some effect at three-quarter time.
2-2 to a goal in this final term. Geelong back within 18 points. Vidovic takes it straight out of the ruck. As Frost's running the wrong way, and then he's caught high by Bairstow. Oh, how was that missed? Surely that's coming back. Oh, well, that's incredible. Pickwick gets the free kick. Head-high tackle on Frost. Umpire somehow picks out a Geelong free kick. The kick in the Hinkley direction, and Hinkley's got the mark. Well, in all my days, how on earth was that not a head-high tackle?
All right, I understand if he chose not to give the head-high tackle, it's a poor miss. But how was there a free kick to Pickering? He just picked up the ball.
Incredible. So Hinkley, set shot. And a fortuitous goal to Geelong with some strange umpiring. Well, it was a decision. Somehow it was a Geelong free kick back in midfield, and the Cats all of a sudden are back within 12 points. 13-11-89. St Kilda 15-11, 101. We're still a long way from the finish line. And the Cats crowd now...
I'm not surprised, Bruce. I'm not surprised. Umpire Murray Bird would go from AFL umpiring to umpiring C-grade amateurs at Glen Ira. And how do I know that? Or Glen Iris. How do I know that? Because I umpired a game with him.
Well, there you go. Did you bring this game up with him?
No, I didn't mention this game, and I've got to say he was an absolute gentleman.
Well, the Cats have gone forward again, and Ablett's taken a spectacular one-handed mark. And all of a sudden, in the late afternoon sunshine, Geelong are all over St Kilda and are charging hard. So Gary Ablett, just the 2 goals in the first 3 quarters, beaten by Jamie Shanahan. Usually Spud Frawley matches up on the Geelong Magician. So Ablett, drop punt straight through the middle. The Cats are within a kick. Ablett kicks his second of the final term. He's now got 4. And Geelong 14-11-95. St Kilda 15-11, 101. And St Kilda now under immense pressure.
You wonder what the Saints can do to hold the Cats off. They're finishing fast. But they've been so valiant this afternoon. Let's see if there's a response from this undermanned St Kilda side. The ball back in the centre of the ground, pounded into the turf. Vidovic, who's been manful in his efforts, goes up against Barnes. Harvey, great work by the young centreman. Gets the ball out, but intercepted by the Cats. Kick forward. Big punch defensively by Frawley to Shaw. Drops the ball. Crouch, who's been quieter in the second half, dispossessed. Anderson kicks the ball forward for St Kilda. An opportunity for Wakeland. What a fantastic mark by Shane Wakeland.
Can this kid play?
Can he play?
Just his 8th game.
Looks like a lively forward, set for a great career down in the St Kilda forward line, surely. Now, is this a free kick to St Kilda? It is. Craig O'Brien, I can't tell you what that was for.
No.
Over the shoulder. Our statistician Andrew Shostak has pointed out, but anyhow, one back the other way. Craig O'Brien, important kick to restore some sort of balance to the St Kilda lineup, and it's through! To restore that 2-goal lead is what I was trying to spit out, and an important goal, one coming back the other way, would give these young Saints some heart.
So back to a 2-goal lead.
How many is that for O'Brien, Bruce?
That's 7.
Wow.
That is 7 goals to Craig O'Brien. Career high. He has been superb today in leading this young, inexperienced Saints forward line, but the performances of Shane Wakeland and Sam Jones, and to a lesser extent David Strooper, as they go for it again. Kane Taylor, who's come on late in the game, kicks out. There's that mark to Strooper. Umpire says no, play on. O'Brien handballs to no one's advantage except Steve Hocking. Boy,
ball!
How far has he run without having a bounce?
I don't go that far in my holidays, Bruce.
Gets it to Bairstow, hooks it over the shoulder straight into the centre, and Vidovic marks inside the centre circle.
He's grown as the game has lengthened. Vidovic has been fantastic. Dangerous bounce by Winmar. Loses the handle on the ball. Bad play. Picked up coming the other way by Brewer, and well smothered by the Saints. So ball comes forward, ultimately diving, stacks on the mill. It's going to be a ball up, centre half forward. Not a great time for a bounce there for Nicky Winmar. Would have been better putting the boot into the leather. And as a result, Cats deep in attack.
16-11 to 14-11. Stoneham tries to take it straight out of the ruck. Anderson. Also Darren Steele on now for the Cats, number 25. late in his career. No, that wasn't the siren, unfortunately. That was the 4:15 from South Geelong. The bounce again. Stoneham and Vidovic. Stoneham wins it down. Bairstow might have been held without the footy. He goes and gets it anyway. Little chip pass out wide to his midfield mate in Hocking. And he's marked 70 from home. Geelong won't be denied. They've come from 26 points down at three-quarter time. Hocking signals he's going to go long. He goes very long. Ablett, no. Big punch there by Vidovic. Ball out of bounds, but in a dangerous area for the St Kilda defence. The visitors clinging to a 12-point lead.
Deep in the forward pocket. Ball to be thrown in next to the behind post. Geelong attacking incessantly in this last quarter. Knocked down by Vidovic. Stacks on the mill, and we're going to have a repeat performance. This time the ball to be bounced down 20 metres out from the Geelong goal, and St Kilda desperate to hang on to this lead. 12 points to the good halfway through the last quarter. The ball knocked down by Vidovic. Lappin gets hands on the ball, finds its way out of bounds. Every metre important, every second important as the Saints try and hold on for a famous victory. It's going to be Vidovic again. Stoneham's been very quiet this afternoon. Full credit to Danny Frawley, who's had the job on him for most of the day. Damon Shaw tracks back. Handballs to Burke. What can he do in heavy traffic? To Packett. Great work to Winmar. Handballs ahead of himself. Holding the man umpire. He got rid of the ball. And yes, a free kick to the Saint champ, Nicky Winmar. That was great play in close quarters by a number of St Kilda players there. Burke, Packett, Shaw all did extremely well, and Winmar to take the kick. Defensive 50.
Saints trying to keep their season alive. 3-6 coming into today's game. His long kick down the line. Mensch with the punch into the path of Pickering, who handballed to Hickmott, who handballed to Hocking. He's running laterally. Took a bounce. Kicked on his left foot. Ablett! What a mark! Jamie Shanahan couldn't have done much more in attempting to spoil the superstar. But Ablett is rising to the occasion. And he's going to go back and line up for goal number 5. And again, make it a one-kick game. He's directly in front. Has to kick the Sharon 40 to 45 metres. The Cats to get within 6 points. A little bit of left to right swing. And Ablett has found the major opening. And Geelong again creep within 6 points. 15-11, 101. St Kilda 16-11, 107. And as you can see, we're 17 minutes into the final term. And Kardinia Park was roused from its slumber. The crowd quietened in the third quarter when St Kilda rattled on 7-0. But this crowd fully invested again now.
Once again, Vidovic and Barnes go at it in the centre of the ground. Cleared out by Pickering. The young midfielder boots the ball forward, diving on top of it, or streaming away from Ablett there with Shanahan. Great work by the defender, but all of a sudden, the Geelong rebound is working, or the Geelong defensive wall, I should say, and Darcy able to mark in front of Michael Frost. Darcy going to beat the ball long into another dangerous area at the back of the pack. Jumping was Hocking. Frawley there at the bounce of the ball. He's held after he got rid of the ball. Must be a free kick. Or is it a free kick prior to Anderson? Either way, St Kilda to get the free kick.
Deliberately stood on the back of Dean Anderson's calf then, right in front of the umpire. No extra penalty.
Rude man. Rude man, Hocking. Anderson sees something he likes. I'm not as keen. Vidovic gets the handball to Lappin. The youngster in his first game kicks the ball centrally. Dangerous, but successful. Diving on it is Kane Taylor. Kane Taylor swings around onto the right boot, kicks it to centre half forward, true centre half forward. Barnes will claim the mark, but it certainly wasn't. At the fall of the ball, Mensch pinballs around back to Barnes. Lucky for the Cats. They go forward. One-on-one contest. Frawley is there. Hocking at the fall of the ball. Dives on it, swoops, leaves it behind for Anderson, back to Frawley. St Kilda clear. Oh, shocking miss by Brewer. Support from Hickmott, gets the handball after the fend off to Couch. Couch looking to get somebody else in the play, and that young man would have been Steele. Steele onto Hocking. Hocking kicks the ball forward. Lappin tracking it back. Wow. Gee, that was well played by Lappin. waited for the traffic to pass, picks out his man, and that man is, guess who? Sam Jones on centre wing.
What a day he has had. Is it going to result in a fairy tale victory for the Saints in just his second game? The 20-year-old Tasmanian, Sam Jones, loads up with a 55-metre drop punt. Barnes couldn't complete the mark. Who's front and centre? Hickmott. Well, that looked like a throw. Got away with it, though. Hocking paddles towards the boundary line. Gathered, reeled away from Anderson. Handled back to Hickmott. Caught again by Harvey. Ball goes up in the air. Hocking, well tackled by Winmar. And other Hocking, Gary, somehow runs past the football. Anderson goes again. Tries to paddle it forward. It is desperate stuff. And eventually the ball trickles over the boundary line, almost at right half forward for St Kilda, who leads 16-11 to 15-11. And the ball spinning back into play. It's going to be Geelong running it away. Steve Hocking with a handball to Bairstow. A bounce and a handball to Darren Steele. The ex-Kangaroo kicks in the direction of Ablett. Pitches at his feet. Couldn't control it. Off the ground goes Lappin. He'll try and follow up. Peckett will get there first. And he needs to be composed here, Finey. He's taken 2 bounces. What's he going to do with it?
Peckett gets the ball to his great teammate in Nathan Burke. He goes wide, almost too wide. Just bounces, pitches into the field of play. Strooper sees it over. Not a bad result for St Kilda. They lead by 6 points, 30 metres around from their goals. They'd love a result from this four-way forward. And Sam Jones, without Everett on the ground, being forced to do the ruck work deep in the forward line. Going after the ball, Frost. Was he held? Umpire says yes. Frost takes advantage. Runs on his left boot. Kicks the ball centrally. Oh, an opportunity for O'Brien. What a chance for the Saints. Is that a goal to Strooper? No, a behind. Oh, gee, I'd love to see that again, but was Craig O'Brien just about to kick a goal there and was pulled off his kick. In goes the ball quickly for the Cats, and Mensch takes it and clears it to Pickering.
Yeah, he's got plenty of space to work in. He's taken 2 bounces. O'Brien gives chase. He kicks to half forward. Good mark. Strong mark by Stoneham. He hasn't had a great day. Danny Frawley beating him. But come the big moment now, Stoneham has taken an important grab. Just too far out to score, although he is a long kick of the footy, the lanky redhead. It's a big, big kick, and it's a mark to Ablett. It's either a goal to stop. Well, yep, no, the mark's been paid. And Ablett is marked hard up against the goalpost, and this will bring the Cats within a point. If the star full forward, is he going to snap on the left boot or kick the banana or try and thread the needle with the drop punt? He walks in, steps out, left foot snap, goal. Ablett has 6. He's kicked 4 in this final term, and his Cats are now within a point. 16-11, 107 to 16-12, 108, 22 and a half minutes into the final term. And St Kilda, well, they haven't stopped to a walk. It has been excellent play by the Cats, and the Saints just haven't taken their half chances on the rare forays forward.
You can't knock Saints' desperation. You can't knock the effort. But in the end, some of these classy Cats are bearing their claws. Barnes, great tap out. Here's one of those classy Cats. Bairstow, beautiful kick forward. And Ablett again! Well, he's got his tail up, and Shanahan, who'd done such a good job on him for 3 quarters.
That's just too good.
Well, there's nothing Shanahan could have done. He was with him every step of the way. It was a beautiful kick by Bairstow. It wasn't a clean mark, but it was as good as a clean mark. Hit at full pace and took it in 2 smart grabs. Goes back. Chance to put the Cats in front. And he does! It's through the middle. A goal for the Cats. And after trailing by 26 points at 3/4 time, Geelong have hit the front. 5 points up down here at Cardinia Park.
17-11, 113 to 16-12, 108. And Gary Ablett has kicked 5 final term goals, 5 of their 7 majors, to break the Saints' hearts. But it's not done yet. St Kilda have got enough time to get back in front. They trail by 5 points. Vidovic smashes it forward. How many more chances are the Saints going to get? Bairstow with the kick. Out towards the members' wing. Rolling, tumbling over the line near the interchange gates. And we will have a throw in. So almost at time on. It should be a fairly long quarter, given it has been 9 goals kicked, 7-2 in favour of the Cats. First time back in front since halfway through the third quarter. Vidovic got away with a swipe of John Barnes' face. Took it straight out of the ruck. High kick to left half forward. Taylor gives chase there, or Sam Jones again, in fact, with Keogh. Ball back over the boundary line in the worst part of the playing surface.
See, we haven't seen much of Rod Keogh this afternoon. I imagine he spent a fair bit of time on the bench, but it's the sort of game where you'd like to see Rod Keogh involved. Throw in again, deep into this last quarter. Speaking of Keogh, he's caught high, was he, by Darren Steele? Surely. Umpire calls for a ball up. Well, anyhow.
They haven't had a great day, the whistleblowers, Finey.
No. Here we go. Ball is bounced down. Vidovic. Saints have to get the ball forward. Can they regain the lead? Craig O'Brien scragged. Steele. Tempted handball. Nothing but a throw. Umpire calls play on. Took the play on. Didn't dispose of it legally, but the umpire calls a ball up. These final decisions are going to be very important, and if we go the way of the rest of the afternoon, it's going to be hard yards for the Saints.
So from the bounce, so many players around the pill. Third man up then might have been Riley. Keogh's got it. Was he legged by Brewer? He was. Rare free kick to St Kilda. Handball to Damon Shaw. Kicks on his non-preferred right. O'Brien, was that over the shoulder? Umpire says, yes it was. And Craig O'Brien, who has kicked 7 goals, will line up for the Saints from directly in front, 40 metres out, to put the visitors back in front by 1 point.
There could only be 2 or 3 minutes left, Beef.
At best. Kicking for his 8th goal. Drop punt on the way. He misses to the left.
Oh, dear.
4-point ball game. 17-11 to 16-13 with Riley to bring the football back into play.
The Cats looking to hang on, a game that they thought they had comfortably in their keeping halfway through the second quarter, and they're trying somehow to win this game, having trailed desperately. Now that surely was holding the ball against Stoneham. Grabbed and tackled. Wowza. The ball 60, 55 metres out from the St Kilda goals. Vidovic and Stoneham to contest this this boundary throw-in. It's Vidovic, Stoneham. Vidovic tries to get the ball to the back of the pack. Pickering desperately clears it. Centre wing. This is an opportunity for the Cats off the ground. Crouch gains valuable meterage, but great intercept mark by Danny Frawley.
So Spud Frawley, the St Kilda captain, quickly gets back off the mark. Long down the line. Wakeland with the massive fly. Gets to the back of the contest. Brewer smashes it straight towards the boundary line.
Come on, umpire.
That is as deliberate as you'd ever see, but the umpire simply says throw it in. 4 points is the Geelong lead. Surely the Saints have only got one more opportunity at best. Vidovic outpoints Stoneham. Burke there, couldn't control it. Stacks on the mill. And the umpire is going to throw it up centre wing on this broadcast side.
Time running out for the Saints. They need to get the ball forward. The umpire calls for the pill. It'll be Vidovic, who's been so manful all afternoon, going up this time against Barry Stoneham. Beautiful tap out. Burke to Keogh. Here's the Saints' opportunity. Keogh on the left. Swings it centrally. Winmar, an opportunity to mark. Just misses it. Stacks on the mill at centre half forward, and there'll be another ball up. Wow. Great tap out by Vidovic to get it to Burke to Keogh. Now, what can they make of this? The ball, pound down. Vidovic again knocks it forward. Burke runs onto it. And again, another ball up. We are running out of time. Can the Saints possibly find a way to get that goal for a historic victory?
We've got to be inside the final minute. Third up, Wakeland wins it down, but only as far as Hickmott. Scramble kick to centre half back. Ball comes out very wide. It's out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds on the full. Now, who's going to take the free kick? Will it be Lappin or Damon Shaw? It'll be the former, the debutant, Matty Lappin. About 62 kilo ringing wet. Hoofs it back to left half forward. Vidovic again tries to force it forward. He does successfully to Winmar. hooks it around the body, into the pocket. No mark taken. Can Saints create an opportunity? No. It's through for a rush behind. St Kilda 16-14, 110. Geelong 17-11, 113. And surely there can only be seconds left finally as Riley is going to go long and strong.
Riley trying to clear the danger area, kicks it wide, very wide. Vidovic is there, punches the ball back for the Saints. One last opportunity. Keogh picks it up. Grubby kick, but the ball's going to be thrown in 10 metres around from the St Kilda behind post. Wow, here we go. This is it. Last chance saloon for the Saints. Vidovic, who's been so strong in the ruck, goes up. Third man up was Wakeland. Got the ball. Oh, here's an opportunity for St Kilda. It's out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds on the full there. Who's going to take it? Is it Jones or Keogh?
Well, it should have been Sam Jones. The right footer was closest.
It was probably Sam Jones's kick, but Keogh's asked for it. Oh, I don't know whether it's good in the hands of the left footer, but here we go, Beaver. Call us home.
So Rod Keogh, the left footer, he's going to try the little pass inboard. He didn't have a shot. Ball was spoilt. Brewer kicks it out to centre wing. Skids over the boundary line. Surely that is St Kilda's last chance. Well, if we had the chance to see a replay, I think you'd see the right footer Sam Jones, who's been spectacular in his second game today. A little inaccurate, but it was the preferred side for the right footer. But Rod Keogh took the free kick. He tried to spear the pass in. I think it was to Nicky Winmar. St Kilda now kicking a half from home, and Geelong defending grimly. The siren has to be imminent. John Harvey to bounce the football again.
And there it is. There it is, the final siren. And the valiant Saints have gone down by 3 points.
Hearts are broken. Geelong 17-11, 113. St Kilda 16-14, 110.